straight to the point. This is the UPN 50, 10 o'clock news.
A 9-year-old fights to live after police say a 13-year-old stabbed her behind this house. The story is breaking right now. We'll take you live to the scene. An explosive discovery at Detroit Police Headquarters. Cops find a bomb in a briefcase. Was it planted or a hoax? We'll get the straight facts. Teddy bears and tears. Only on 50, a 6th grader remembered after a sudden accident takes her life. New information about that doomed American Airlines jetliner. Tonight, what the tower heard moments before impact. The news starts now. Straight to the point. Child's play has taken a terrifying turn on Detroit's west side.
A 9-year-old is critically stabbed. Her 13-year-old neighbor is suspected of doing it. It's tonight's first story, and the details are still falling right into place. What we can tell you right now is that a little girl is fighting for her life after being stabbed in the neck. Police are questioning her 13-year-old neighbor. UPN 50's Mike Bowersock live at Children's Hospital, where doctors are working on the little girl right now. Mike, what can you tell us?
Well, Mayor, the good news is that the little girl has been upgraded from critical condition, but only to serious condition, so her family is still very concerned and stunned that this happened.
That's about the best that somebody can do for both of them, pray.
9-year-old Renita Cannon was stabbed in the neck, stomach, and hand with a steak knife after an argument with a 13-year-old boy, a boy police have taken into custody.
I ran over there and I grabbed her, and she was cut, then she was punctured in the stomach. I beat her up.
They were playing behind the boy's house when child's play suddenly became deadly.
It's terrible. It's terrible. This is how young people doing these days. No sense.
Neighbors couldn't believe what they were hearing about a boy they knew so well.
Something like this, I just don't believe this happened. And because he's a very intelligent little boy, he's very smart. Both his parents take care of him. They like I say, he's not hard-headed or nothing like this here.
Even the police, who usually work scenes like this when adults have committed crimes, wonder what to do with children so young involved in something so serious.
Talking about a young person. So what it actually falls into, because that kid is at 13 years still juvenile.
At last check, that little girl still here in the hospital with her family in serious condition. Reporting live in Detroit, I'm Mike Bowersock, UPN 50, 10 o'clock news.
All right, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it very much. Wish her the best. Well, a 16-year-old Dearborn High School student could be charged as an adult in the death of his friend. Police tell us the Edsel High School sophomore was behind the wheel of a pickup truck when it flipped over, killing 15-year-old Justin Bailey. A tragic end to an afternoon joyride. It was a heart-wrenching day today in juvenile court as the boy, his parents, and the victim's parents all sat solemnly during a detention hearing. Tonight, the teenager is charged with manslaughter and felonious driving. The question is, should he be tried as an adult?
Because it was an adult activity he was doing, driving the truck, should have an adult sentence. I'm sure it's tough on him, but it's tough on everybody in this situation. I think it's a tragic situation for everybody, mostly the victim's family, obviously.
Well, the teenager will be back in court June 14th, where a court referee will decide if he'll be charged as an adult, and if convicted, he could face up to 17 years in prison. Now a story you'll see only on 50. It's been a tough 24 hours since Lauren Pasquet died. The bright-eyed, outgoing 11-year-old was fatally injured after being hit by a truck in Warren last night. Our Sherry Jones shows us how family and friends are coping.
All day long, friends, family, and even some strangers have come to contribute to this memorial. Everything from teddy bears to flowers to try and cope with the loss of 11-year-old Lauren Pasquet.
She was nice and caring, and she liked everybody, and she never fought with anybody.
Friends and classmates of 11-year-old Lauren Pasquet remember happier times to get them through the hardship.
She always smiled. She was even nice to people that she didn't like.
The Carter Middle School 6th grader was taken away from them last night at this intersection when she was struck and killed by this truck while walking her bicycle across the street. Many question why the truck driver was even on Masonic, since it's restricted to commercial vehicles. The Warren police say he was not in violation because the driver had made a delivery to a school and the only road to the school was Masonic. Still, there are questions about the safety of the intersection as a whole, which has led Warren officials to look a little closer at the area traffic.
The goal will be to find any kind of changes in terms of traffic patterns or maybe a crossing guard, something like that, anything that can make the crossing safer for children.
Classmates say Lauren's desk at school is also covered with gifts. A friend couldn't even attend computer class because she couldn't bear to see Lauren's empty desk beside her.
I just came in at third hour, so I wasn't there, but because I was really upset.
Lauren's father and brother stopped by here too, and they wanted to pass on their gratitude to everyone, including the Warren Police and Fire Departments. In Warren, Sherry Jones, UPN 50, 10 o'clock news.
Tense moments at Detroit's police headquarters just hours ago when police found a bomb inside their own building. The building was evacuated. It was inside a package that was brought into the station by an officer who was working on a robbery case. Now, that package was part of evidence, and then they realized it was dangerous.
Once the package was in armed robbery, the investigator felt it looked a little suspicious. We called the bomb unit down, and they took an X-ray picture of it and discovered the inner workings of what could be an explosive device.
The device was taken to Belle Isle, where it was blown up. After about 10 minutes, everybody was allowed back inside the building. A 3-alarm fire destroys what was once the Montgomery Ward store on Gratiot near 7 Mile. That fire started on top of the floor of the vacant building. The exact cause still under investigation tonight. It did take 3 fire companies to bring that blaze under control, and fortunately, no one was injured.
Well, now for the latest in the crash of American Airlines Flight 1420. Tonight, investigators are zeroing in on the pilots and why they decided to land in such severe storms despite repeated warnings about the weather. CNN's Kate Snow has the latest straight from Little Rock.
Affirmative. We've got help coming as quick as we can. How many people did you say we had?
Dispatchers relayed the first details of a plane down. When the MD-82 broke into pieces, jet fuel spilled out, soaking some of those on board.
I was shocked that there were not more fatalities. It looked terrible from the air. It was still burning. Smoke was still coming out.
John Maddox's 22-year-old daughter, Kristen, was one of 10 passengers taken to Arkansas Children's Hospital. She suffered burns on her face and arms. Maddox is a pilot himself. He's reluctant to blame anyone for the accident.
Not being there, not knowing what the weather was, not knowing, the capabilities of that particular aircraft, I don't have any way to speculate whether a wrong decision was made.
The National Transportation Safety Board says the crew on Flight 1420 was getting a play-by-play on the weather conditions from tower controllers in Little Rock, but ultimately it was the pilot's decision to land.
At one point they could see the runway, then they lost it, then they could see the airport again during the approach sequence. There was a report earlier that implied that there was an aborted approach, in other words, a go-around. That was not true.
Now, tomorrow, the National Transportation Safety Board is hoping to talk with the first officer on the plane. He suffered a broken leg. They're hoping that he perhaps can shed some light on what happened in the cockpit just as they were coming in for the landing. They also plan tomorrow to open up the site for families of the victims. I'm Kate Snow. Now back to you.
Tonight, by the way, American Airlines has released the names of the 9 people killed in the crash. 6 of those victims, members of a seniors travel group returning to Arkansas after 2 weeks vacationing in Wales and Scotland.
And time now to check in with Jim Mattis for a first look at the weather. A little bit nippy out there tonight. Things are getting better, but getting better slowly.
That's right, Amir. Yeah, this is that change that we were talking about, that cooler, drier air, kind of crisp out, as you mentioned. Here's the high and low today in Detroit. 68 degrees, 52 is your low. No precipitation, 76 and 53 normal for this time of the year. Outside right now, scattered clouds, 59 degrees. That's our latest reading. Here's our satellite shot. You can see the clear skies over most of Michigan now. A little bit of cloudiness off to our west. The big storms are in the plain states. Traveling tomorrow, Friday, here's what to expect. Coast to coast, hot stuff down in the deep south. We will be mild here in the Great Lakes. Overnight, clear, 49 degrees. Coming up at 10:30. I'll be talking about more sunshine and how long this will be around. That plus much warmer temperatures. Wait till you see how warm the weekend's going to get. That'll be in your 5-day forecast. See you at 10:30. Amir, back to you.
Thank you, Jim. Well, they led the Spartans to the NCAA Final Four with their moves on the basketball court. Tonight, though, Antonio Smith and Mateen Cleaves are wanted in a different court, charged with property damage and larceny. UPN 50's Woody Willis explains.
Spartan basketball stars Mateen Cleaves and Antonio Smith gave MSU reason to celebrate all the way to the NCAA Final Four this year. Now their fans worry what will happen to them because of their problems out of bounds.
Hopefully doesn't hurt the basketball team or the school's image much more than it has in the recent past.
Trouble for Cleves and Smith allegedly happened at this off-campus 7-Eleven. Smith is accused of breaking the lock on a freezer door. Cleves of stealing a 40-ounce beer.
It's kind of stupid. I mean, they're average kids. They're going to screw up every once in a while.
Student riots after the MSU Final Four loss painted an unflattering campus portrait on national television. But students say administrators shouldn't overreact.
This campus has the highest, alcohol-related arrests in the country. And, when Teen Cleves gets one, everyone's had one, or most people have had one, and it's not like it's anything new.
Head coach Tom Izzo issued this statement. It's my understanding that the matter will be dealt with in the courts, and after the judicial process runs its course, I'll take appropriate action, unquote. Fans hope that doesn't mean the players will be suspended from the team.
I feel like community service or pay some type of fine. But, they do need to be punished in some way, but just not severely.
Cleves and Smith will be allowed to turn themselves in because the charges are misdemeanors.
Look, I'm not going on camera or anything to discuss the case.
Attorney Brian Jeffries was hired by MSU to defend both Cleves and Smith, but can't say at this point how his clients will respond to the charges. In East Lansing, Woody Willis, UPN 50, 10 o'clock news.
And straight ahead on STV, Mateen Cleves' mother talks exclusively with our own Tim Swore. See why she's agonizing about some controversial comments made about her son's future. STV at 10:37.
Well, strangled in his home tonight, police think they've caught the man's killer on videotape. You can help identify him in 3 minutes.
Blame it on Bill Maher beef. In just a minute, see why hot dogs are behind the nationwide outbreak of a deadly disease.
Some electrifying news about bug zappers. Parts of those pesky pests may be landing on your picnic plate. See how to avoid getting zapped by bug bacteria straight ahead.
Plus, in the market for your own theater, will join us for a step back in time and see where the old gym is going up for sale.
You're watching the newscast that earned Detroit Television's most coveted award from the Associated Press, the UPN 50 10 o'clock news.
The Livonia Free Fair returns to Schoolcraft College June 4th through June 13th. Free admission, free parking, and free entertainment. 10 big days of fun and thrills for the entire family. Great Elephant Show, Baboon Lagoon, and Petting Farm are all free. Tons of thrilling rides and pay-one-price armbands available every day. Plenty of great kids rides and the best thrill rides in town. If you like fairs, don't miss the Livonia Free Fair at Schoolcraft College, Haggerty Road between 6 and 7 Mile Road in Livonia.
Introducing chicken salad at Subway. Try our delicious chicken salad sub, handmade right in front of you.
Thirsty for thrills? Get a coupon for $10 off admission to Cedar Point when you buy a sub jug from Subway.
Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
What's the matter?
I got a flat.
I'll fix it.
No way.
Why not?
Are you a ASE certified mechanic?
No.
You got Kelly, Goodyear, and Michelin in stock?
No.
What gives? I don't want no-name tires between me and the road. I'm going to Bell Tire.
There's just one place to go for quality name brand tires.
Bell Tire, Bell Tire. Where do they learn to talk like that?
Bell Tire. Nobody comes close, and now more than ever, nobody's closer.
Save on Freschetta 12-inch pizzas. Get 2 for just $8. Choose from a select variety of Post cereals, just $2 each. All varieties of 100-ounce all-liquid laundry detergent are 2 for $7. Meijer, a million reasons, a single store.
An 8-speaker stereo, just one of over 40 features, now standard on the new Golf.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roboto, for helping me escape just when I needed to. Thank you.
Take a close look at these surveillance pictures. Royal Oak Township Police say the man suspected of killing social worker Harold McCormick is seen right there on the left, standing next to him on the right in the hat. A video store surveillance camera caught the pair together renting videos just hours before McCormick was murdered. Police want to know if you recognize the other fellow. They want to question him. Police think he strangled 65-year-old McCormick in his home last month and stole his 1999 Grand Am. New tonight, a mentally ill man is dead. His care worker charged with killing him. This happened at the White Lake Group Home Tuesday. Police tell us the employee, Linda Taylor, fatally stabbed Alan French during a violent argument in the kitchen. Tonight, Taylor's charged with second-degree murder, is being held on $400,000 bond. And there was a robbery attempt at this beauty shop on Detroit's west side today. One man was killed. A 2-year-old child remains hospitalized tonight. Police say a gunman entered the Dexter beauty shop, announced a holdup, then began firing. When it was all over, an employee was dead. The child was grazed in the head by a bullet, but should be all right. Police have very little to go on. If you have any information, they ask you give them a call.
Hot dogs from the Bilmar meat plant in Zeeland are being blamed for a deadly listeria outbreak last December. The Center for Disease Control says the same rare strain of bacteria that caused the outbreak, leaving 15 people dead and another 100 sick, was found in the Bilmar hot dogs. The company recalled 15 million pounds of hot dogs and lunch meats because of suspected contamination. Tonight, company officials are questioning the report. So if you got one of those things in your backyard, then get it away from your food. A microbiologist at Kansas State says that zappers can spin bacteria, or rather spread bacteria and viruses, by spraying tiny pieces of bugs up to 6 feet away. But if you still want the snap, crackle, and pop of your zapper, you've got to move to a far corner of your yard and keep it away from your kids' toys, too.
Well, General Motors is going to spend $1 billion on a new engineering center in Warren. This is a virtual reality model of the new 9-story, 1 million square foot tower that is going to rise from a beautiful man-made lake at the Warren Tech Center. The engineering center will consolidate 8,000 GM employees and technicians who are scattered at 14 different work locations around town. The new engineering center is set to open up in the year 2001. It should really be something to see.
Well, after months of missile attacks and bombing, there is finally a deal that just may be able to go through on the Kosovo, or rather, the crisis in Kosovo. You can get the straight facts possible about that possible peace plan at 10:23 tonight, plus reaction from refugees who fled right here to Metro Detroit. What will they say? What will they find out? We'll let you know when we come back.
Consumer Alert is brought to you by Jeep. There's only one. Test drive the legend at your Southeast Michigan Jeep Superstore.
No matter where your vacation plans take you this season, there's no better place to start than at the Jeep Grand Cherokee Summer of Fun event. Now you can head for the sun in an all-new $359 a month Grand Cherokee Laredo. Plus, you could save on all Grand Cherokees with special factory-to-dealer incentives. So for great savings on top of already great lease rates, hurry to your Jeep dealer for an incredible $359 a month lease today, before these great savings are just another memory.
The Downriver Fair and Expo returns to Gibraltar Trade Center in Taylor. 10 big days of fun and thrills for the entire family. Great motorcycle shows, petting farm, and circus acts are all free. Tons of thrilling rides and pay-one-price armbands are available every day. Plenty of great kids' rides and thrill rides of every kind. Over 100 exciting attractions in all. If you like fairs, this is the one not to miss. The Downriver Fair and Expo runs June 4th through June 13th at Gibraltar Trade Center in Taylor.
Can you return things like vitamins? At GNC you can. Every product comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. We're talking about something you put in your body. If you're not satisfied, we're not either. GNC. Come in. Live well. Does it matter where you get your herbs? Yes, it does. Only GNC has the Herbal Plus line. It's made with only the most effective part of the herb, so you're guaranteed the potency you're paying for. GNC. Come in. Live well.
Do you have a story that you would like us to expose? Call the UPN 50 investigators at 1-800-WKBD TV50. AirTouch Cellular customers can dial star 5050. Airtime free. The UPN 50 10 o'clock news. Straight to the point.
Due to a track fire, this train will be temporarily delayed.
Hey, it's me. I'll see you in a little while. Oh, is that your hand? Sorry.
I'm a cook here at Bob Evans Restaurant. I get to barbecue. Top that. We put this wildfire sauce on chicken. We put it on ribs. I mean, this sauce has attitude. Smoky, sweet, bold sauce. It's sauce that sleeps with its boots on. I don't even know what that means. This is the invention of my lifetime. You know, they say fire, they say the wheel. No, wildfire barbecue sauce. Come on down to Bob Evans. Try the sauce. Man, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Stick around, Detroit. STV is just minutes away.
That's right, I'm Tim Swore. Coming up on the show tonight, Mateen Cleave's mother gives her reaction to the charges filed against her son. You'll hear it only on STV. The rest of your day in highlights, including French Open and the Lions' Matt Russell in studio. It's all coming up on Sports Television Detroit.
Believe it or not, the crisis in Kosovo may be coming to an end. After 72 days of NATO bombing, the Serbs, including President Slobodan Milosevic, reportedly ready to accept a peace deal laid out by NATO, the European Union, and Russia. President Clinton says he welcomes that development tonight, but he warns that the air campaign against that country will continue unless there is evidence of Serbian troop withdrawal.
By the Serbian leadership to accept these conditions established by NATO and the international community is, of course, welcome. But based on our past experience, we must also be cautious.
If Milosevic follows through on his end of the agreement, NATO attacks could end within just a few days. In the meantime, NATO jets targeted communications facilities and fuel depots throughout the region.
You know, thousands of Kosovo refugees are scattered right now across the United States, some 150 of them right here in Metro Detroit. As much as they may want to go home, several told me tonight they are wary of any peace arrangement with the Serbs. One night 2 months ago, Abdullah Fazliou and his wife and 3 children were rousted out of their home by Serb gunmen, forced to flee without money or passport. Abdullah was rifle-butted in the eye. They traveled on foot and by manure train, witnessing murder and mutilation, spending days in cold rain without food or shelter. Tonight, with their fellow refugees, they receive coffee and cake and hope.
Okay, he's saying that he had always had a good opinion for America because everybody knows that America is a land of dreams.
The Fazlious are the only refugees here without other kinfolk in Metro Detroit, but already they've received an apartment for the family and an offer of surgery to repair Abdullah's eye. Still, all of these refugees are wary of the peace talk because they don't trust Milosevic. And they're not alone. Are you hopeful by what you're hearing today in terms of the breakthrough in this process?
I'm very cautious because we just cannot believe Milosevic, and until we see actual movement on the ground of Serbian troops out of Kosovo, we cannot assume that anything is going to come of this.
So these refugees will get on with their new lives here as best they can, hoping peace is restored in their burned out homes and villages, and never forgetting what America has done for them.
Okay, he's saying that he would very like, you know, when the war is over, he likes to say that all America can come in Kosovo to visit Kosovo and all Kosovars go in America, you know, having a sort of relation because you were, you know, for us in the most hardest moments, he's very grateful for that to the United States.
Good luck to you. Tell him good luck. Very best of luck. The United States is prepared to take in as many as 20,000 refugees. And if they choose not to return to their homeland, they will be allowed to stay here. In the coming weeks, we'll visit again with the Fazliou family to see how they're making out. Amir?
Well, David, the nation has a new spelling bee champ tonight. That's C-H-A-M-P.
Logorrhea. L-O-G-O-R-R-H-E-A.
That is correct. And with that, 14-year-old Nupur Lala of Tampa claimed the title of the nation's best speller, beating out 248 other students, including 7 Michigan kids who made the finals. For all their hard work and for the spelling skill, Lala gets a trophy, $10,000, encyclopedias, airline tickets, and computer software. The historic Howell Opera House is up for sale tonight. Hopes are high that music will ring out once again in that historic building. UPN 50's Meg Oliver joins us now. And Meg, apparently the place needs quite a bit of TLC.
That's right, Amir. The Opera House has been closed since the 20s, padlocked for years. It's like a step back in time. Problem is, the owner wants to relocate his hardware store, which is right underneath the theater. And he tells me selling the building to just anybody just won't do. Music streamed out of the Howell Opera House for the first time on December 30th, 1881. It was the beginning of something special. Aspiring actors and actresses took the stage with high hopes and big dreams.
It just kind of brings back visions of a vital past.
A grand past that faded with time. The fire marshal shut it down in 1924. That was then. This is now.
We still have the original chandelier. I mean, it needs a little work.
Lee Reeves with the Chamber of Commerce dreams of hearing high notes here again in the future.
There aren't opera houses laying around everywhere.
Right now, it's frozen in time. The current owner padlocked the door 12 years ago. The balcony is littered with old boxes, dust, and debris. Signs date back to the 40s, and collector bottles line the shelves. It's like walking back in time. Take a look at some of these old playbills tacked up on the wall. This one dates back to 1902. And on the way up to the balcony, you can see the original pipes coming out of the wall they used for the gas lights.
It just has a feeling that you can't recreate, you can't buy today.
The city likes to call it their cultured pearl, a treasure they're hoping to protect.
I want to see it come alive for the whole picture, because when something like this comes back to life, it impacts everything around it.
It's really a special place. Now, the owner told me there is an offer on the table right now. He says the contract includes a clause that prohibits the new owner from demolishing the building. Whether we'll see the Opera House restored for future use remains to be seen. David and Amir.
That's quite a place.
That's a long time to go back.
Well, usually river rescues involve people trapped in raging water.
Not this one, though. You're going to see what he's wading in to save straight ahead.
Plus, baseball's 70-homer man is in town, and Detroit's pitcher is ready for the Big Mac. Find out straight ahead on STV.
I'm meteorologist Jim Addis. Great day today, but we've got a big warm-up coming our way. I'll let you know how warm and your full forecast straight ahead.
Hey, Chandler gets a new chick.
That's Yasmin Bleed. She's a completely different kind of chick.
Next Friends.
Tonight at 11 on UPN 50.
There are very few athletes that have maintained this lifelong commitment to be the best. And even fewer companies.
It's impossible to ignore the biggest sale of the season. Hudson's Daisy Sale. This one is really big.
No one in Michigan sells more Simmons mattresses than Art Van. And no one has Simmons for less than at Art Van's Simmons Beauty Rest Introductory Sale. Introducing the new Beauty Rest collection, featuring Art Van's exclusive Simmons Beauty Rest mattress systems. Save 25 to 55% on every size, every firmness, and every quality. And you do not pay for one full year. Plus, with Mattress Express, you'll get free guaranteed next-day delivery. The Simmons Beauty Rest Introductory Sale, now at Art Van.
My son drew a family portrait. I was the one on the couch. That's when I started taking Ginsana. The pure ginseng in Ginsana helps my body use oxygen better, giving me energy that lasts.
Find the energy. Feel your Ginsana.
Hi, I'm Bill. B-I-L-L, Bill.
I'm Bill. This is Frankie.
Wow, and beautiful Bill. Bill.
Bill?
Bill.
Bill. I'm the dad, and he's the son.
My mother named me Bill. Bill's a solid guy. I'm Bill! Reliable, dependable.
Hola, soy Bill.
I'm Bill. I'm Bill.
I'm Bill.
I sing. I want to retire before my father did.
At Huntington, our personal bankers treat you like a unique individual. Because you are.
I look good in purple.
It's summertime. The kids are out of school and into everything else. That's why Kmart is here to help with savings on Hoover cleaners during the Hoover Summer Savings Spectacular. The Hoover Runabout Deluxe with onboard hose and tools is just $94.99. And the Hoover Steam Vac Plus with 5 rotating brushes to deep clean carpets and bare floors is only $199.99. Ah, summertime. Let Kmart make yours a little more enjoyable. The Hoover Summer Savings Spectacular at Kmart.
UPN 50 First Warning Weather is brought to you by Domino's. Hotter pizza tastes better. Call Domino's for an oven-fresh pizza delivered hot to your door.
And tonight, before Jim shows you some pets on Pet Night, we've got a story, a happy ending for a runaway dog and his very worried owners.
He's pretty lucky, too. This pooch now has quite a tale to tell his friends. You see, Hunk, that's the dog's name, was finally found floating down the Los Angeles River. A firefighter fished him out of the freezing water, then rushed him to a vet. Hunk was treated for hypothermia, then reunited with his best buddy, Rebel, and their owners. Tonight, Hunk is doing just fine. They're pretty sure he probably won't run away again anytime soon. Hopefully he learned his lesson.
Where do you think you got that name, Hunk?
I don't know. He's a big dog.
I've never heard a dog named Hunk before.
You could name yours the ones you're going to show, Hunk.
They're big dogs. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got, so this is Pet Night. Every Thursday night we show off your pets. You send me a photo and I'll show off your pets. And tonight is Max and Medea's night. This is Max and Medea, and they are Belgian sheepdogs. And notice they've got their Easter ears on. What a great shot. And they're from St. Clair Shores. Thanks for setting that in. Well, 68 degrees your high in Detroit today. A little cool. You feel that nippy air out there? It's cool right now. 52 your low and no precipitation. Outside currently, partly cloudy in Detroit, 59 degrees. Our latest reading, our humidity is 64%. Now, that's a whole lot different than that 90-some% we've been talking about the past few nights. A light northeast wind at 6 miles per hour, and the barometer is rising. It's 30.18. Here are all your local 10 o'clock readings. 59 Metro, 59 City Airport, Pontiac, 54 degrees. Look at Port Huron, 48 degrees. It's 57 in Monroe. Farther west, Lansing, 55 right now, 55 degrees in Flint, 61 in Saginaw. And around the region, 49 Marquette, 48 Sault Ste. Marie. A little chilly outside, and it's going to get a little cooler as the night rolls along, and by tomorrow morning, we could be in the upper 40s here in Metro Detroit. One of the cooler nights we've seen in quite a while. Allergy alert for today. Tree pollen and grass pollen continues in the low category, and mold dropped a little today. Yesterday it was very high. Now mold is in the moderate category. Dewpoint temperatures. We've been pointing these out the past several days just because of all the moisture in the atmosphere, especially here in the Great Lakes. That has changed. As you can see, some of the drier air. You see no green here right now with a dew point temperature of 47 degrees in Detroit. That's entering the comfort zone. So all these 60s, that's where all the muggy stuff is, and that's where all the storms are. In fact, speaking of storms, the wild weather tonight in the northern plain states, stretching from North Dakota through South Dakota, all the way down to Nebraska and parts of northern Kansas and east into Minnesota, where there's a severe thunderstorm watch box. You can zoom in just a bit in that area, and you can see all of the activity. This cell right here in northern Kansas and into southern Nebraska produced a tornado. In fact, there have been 7 tornadoes so far in the Central Plains, 1 in North Dakota, 5 in Kansas, 1 in Nebraska, producing 7 tornadoes so far this evening. So that's where the wild weather is. Here, closer to home, it's as quiet as can be. Wonderful outside. You can see some cloudiness off to our west. That should stay there. We're looking for clear to partly cloudy skies most of the night tonight. Here's first warning Doppler on the full view. You can see, again, quiet here, and the storms off to our west, especially in the northern plain states, they're going to stay there. In the meantime, we've got a few broken clouds off to our west and some low, thin cloudiness off to our east, and we are clear for the most part here in Detroit. That goes all the way up through the lower peninsula, part of the UP, so it's looking real good. But as long as we're clear like that, we're going to drop down into the upper 40s, as mentioned tonight, for low temperatures. Here is your Friday. It looks good. Sunshine in the forecast. A few clouds in the mix. Mild temperatures here in Detroit after the upper 60s today. Look for mid-70s tomorrow. And here's the warm stuff. And that warm stuff is getting ready to roll this way for the weekend. And we are talking temperatures around 90 degrees. Overnight lows first, though. 30s and 40s up north. Close to 50 down here in the south. Highs tomorrow. Mid-70s tomorrow. There's the 80 and 90 degree stuff getting ready to move our way for Saturday and Sunday. Local cast for tomorrow, Howell, Bloomfield, Utica, Wayne, Ann Arbor, 74, 75 degrees. UV index continues high. It's 8 tomorrow. Keep that in mind if you'll be working outside. Traveling tomorrow, here's what to expect across the country. Cool out west, hot down south. Here are your overnight lows and daytime highs for up north. Now your forecast, clear tonight, cooler. 49 your low, northeast winds. Then tomorrow, sunshine, a few clouds, 74 your high. Then for the next 5 days, 74 tomorrow, 83 on Saturday, and close to 90 for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So we're looking pretty good for the next several days.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect stuff.
Yeah, okay.
All right. More on the Mateen Cleaves arrest coming up. STV is next.
There. Go on, it's Friday night. Yeah, I'm gonna miss